In recognition of yesterday's 75th anniversary of the liberation of Auschwitz concentration camp, the Holy See Mission to the United Nations held a conference to remember the Holocaust and highlight the Catholic Church's efforts to save lives. The conference featured research by several of the world's leading experts on the role that the Church and Pope Pius XII played in helping to save Jews in Europe during World War II. The forum was co-sponsored by Pave the Way Foundation, which seeks to eliminate disinformation between religions. Our United Nations correspondent Sabrina Ferrisi was at the conference, and she joins us now from the UN in New York City with more. Sabrina, thanks so much for joining us.
Glad to be here.
So, Sabrina, how many Jews were saved by Pope Pius XII, and do we have reliable figures for it?
We do have reliable figures, and the lowest figure they could give us yesterday was 847,000 Jews saved, but some believe it could be as high as 1 million. They gave us many examples of numbers from various countries. So in Rome, for example, a plot was discovered in 1943, October, that the Germans were going to round up all the Jews. Pius XII ordered 235 convents and monasteries to immediately hide the Roman population of Jews, and 4,205 Jews were saved. In Budapest, 120,000 Jews were saved out of 150,000 by the papal nuncio, and in France, 75% of the nation's Jews were saved by the Catholic bishops. Now, next month, when the Vatican archives are opened on Pius XII, we should be finding out a lot more.
Many have criticized Pope Pius XII for his silence during World War II, and other critics claim that he was somehow indifferent to the plight of the Jews. What does the research actually show?
The research shows that he was anything but indifferent. He made many statements before and during World War II. When he was Secretary of State to the Vatican in 1938, he helped write an encyclical called With Burning Anxiety in German, and it was distributed in Germany. And this encyclical attacked governments which exalted race, people, or governments and divinized them to idolatrous levels. This was clearly an attack on Nazism. Now, Pope Pius XII wanted to say more, and the Allies wanted him to say more. However, he knew that the cost could be disastrous. And an example they gave yesterday was that in 1942, the Dutch Catholic bishops issued a pastoral letter criticizing Nazism. The results were disastrous. All the Jewish Catholics in the country were immediately rounded up and deported and killed. Apparently, Pius XII had a text prepared that he was going to publish in 1942 in the Osservatore Romano, where he was going to protest these deportations of Jews. As soon as he heard what happened in Holland, he pulled the text because he didn't want any more Jews to be killed.
Sabrina, was there anything that you learned during the conference that really stood out to you or maybe surprised you?
Yes, absolutely. Apparently, Pius XII was involved in 3 anti-Hitler plots. Now, these plots were to change the German regime, not to kill Hitler. The documents were very clear. He didn't want the Vatican to be implicated in any political violence. So there were 3 coup attempts in 1939 to 1940, another one in 1943, and one in 1944. The last one was made famous by a Tom Cruise movie called Valkyrie, which maybe our viewers have seen. All the plots failed. In each plot, Pius acted as a foreign agent for the German plotters, and he was helping get their messages across to the Western Allies. Professor Mark Riebling, who's a historian and he has studied the Vatican archives on this issue, wrote a book called The Church of Spies, the Pope and his Secret War Against Hitler. This book will be made into a movie next year. It should be very interesting.
It sounds very interesting. Well, Sabrina, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. Sabrina Ferrisi, UN correspondent, thanks so much for your report.
Thank you.